George asked me to talk about writing on the iOS devices, and so that's what we're going to talk about. You can write on, I'm going to show you mostly on the iPad. 90% of it applies to the iPhone. There's a few things that don't, but most of it does. Is that, okay, I'm just looking at the brightness. I'm not used to keeping my iPad this bright. This new Pro is really amazing with the brightness. Anyway, the word processing apps, templates, Apple Notes, all of these things, there's tons of apps that you can write on the iPad. And the word processing apps, if you look at the Apple app on Pages, which is the Apple word processing app, these are the categories that they have for the different apps that you can, the different kinds of documents that you can make, which I have listed on the left side. Note-taking, essay, term paper, reports, project proposals, research, letters, envelopes, etc., etc. But if you go to the App Store and you get more templates, then you can get additional apps, such as the ones listed on the left plus the ones listed on the right. If you get some of these templates, this is from the 451. Decorated blanks, real estate flyers, calendars, coupons.
What do you mean by 451?
I'll show you in a minute. Fax covers, iBooks, invitation labels, lists, magazines, meeting notes, memos, menus, programs, quizzes, recipes, schedules, social cards, storyboards, so forth. When I bought this app a while back, Pages templates, I think it was no results for Pages templates. Come on. It came up yesterday. Pages templates.
Show it in that list.
I know, that's what I've been doing. All right, let me just try it another way. Let's try this one and see if it'll bring up the page. No. All right, let's try 450. Let me see if I can read it from here.
Oh. No, I don't think so. Looking back.
I was able to get it typing in Pages templates, but mine says iPad only on the top. I don't know if that. I started typing.
Well, mine says
Pages.
iPad only too.
Yeah, I started typing Pages, and then I clicked on the one and the drop down that said templates.
Let's try templates for Pages. Let's try that one. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the 250. And you can see that there's a lot of bundles that you can buy, which have a whole bunch of other ones. And then you go down and there's templates for Pages Pro and other bundles and business templates, and it goes on and on and on. So there's a ton of them. This is the one that I bought when it was $240 or something. Now it's $250, and that shows you the different ones. And I'll just go to it so that you can see it. So anyway, you type in templates for Pages instead of Pages templates. That's the truth. So let's open it, and not now. Okay, and then you can just see. These are the new ones that they've just come out with, the real estate flyer, RSVP, so forth, blank, different kinds of papers, brochures, business cards. And there's, some of them are a repeat of what's on pages, and some of them are new ones, different ones than are on pages. Calendars, cards, certificates. This is one that I used because I didn't like the certificate. Coupons if you're trying to sell your something at the mall, I don't know, envelopes, essays, flyers, invitations, invoices, tons of those, labels, letters. I think these templates, some of them do better than the Apple ones for business cards. So anyway, that's the idea.
So they want to charge for it.
Of course, I never show you free apps, so you can.
They're worth what they get, what they cost.
Right. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know that if you want to do some unusual kinds of things, there's lots there to choose from. This is sort of what this is an old slide of mine. This is what it looked like before.
Question, Marilyn, are
Yes.
these for iPad only?
Some of them are and some of them aren't. I would say the way I have it listed on my iPad, it just says for iPad only. But if you go to the app and you scroll down a little bit in the App Store, it'll tell you if it's a universal app or if it's, it'll say iPhone app or iPad app. This is an older slide, but it's still relevant. There's different ways to add text to the iPad. Word processing, of course, is the most typical one. The virtual keyboard is the one that pops up when you tap on and you get a cursor on your screen. And then you can use Bluetooth keyboards. I used to have a Bluetooth keyboard that was separate from my iPad, which I accidentally gave away to my daughter, but it doesn't matter because I don't need it anymore. But I couldn't bring it to show you. It's just if you decide to buy a Bluetooth keyboard separate from your iPad, you want to make sure it's compatible with the iPad. Not all Bluetooth keyboards are. And then a lot of the covers have Bluetooth keyboards. Okay, we don't need to know that, do we? I just bought the new Smart, I have an iPad Pro, and I bought the new Smart keyboard, and I absolutely love it. And the reason I like it is, number one, it's very easy to type on the table on my lap. Number two, it's mixed in with the cover. I like the Smart covers because I like the fact that it turns off my iPad. I don't have to bother doing it. The other thing is I don't like real thick iPads. And the reason is because since I've owned an iPad, which is since they first came out, I like to carry my iPad in a case that I can put over my body, especially when I'm traveling, because it is so easy if it's in your hand to lay it down. So just put this over, my iPad's in here, so I don't want a big bulky one that won't fit in the case. So that's just my personal reason for having it. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but anyway, Bluetooth works really well, and there's a few things that you can do, shortcuts that you would normally do on your computer, keyboard shortcuts. You can do a lot of them with a Bluetooth keyboard. Then voice dictation, and there's a lot of apps that you can use for that. Copy and paste, and especially with this new, I can't do it, oh, here we go. When you do the, whoops, we don't want to do that one. We'll do a different one later. But anyway, with the new slide over where you can put a split screen on your iPad, it's really easy to copy and paste. And if you have PDFs coming in your mail, or they're on the internet, or you have text in another app, you can easily add to your word processing. I looked at 3 word processing apps that are available for the iPad. I compared them. Their Pages is free if you buy a new iPad. If you have an old one, you may have to pay for it. But most of you have probably free Pages on your iPad. Microsoft Word is free, but you have to have a Microsoft ID, which is free. It's that one you use for Overdrive, that Adobe. Basically your email address plus whatever password you use. So if you use Overdrive from the library, it's the same password basically. So you get a free account with Microsoft, and you can get all the apps, all the Office apps, which includes presentation and spreadsheet and the notes. And so Microsoft Word is another word processing, and then Google Docs is also another one that some people use because they communicate with a lot of PC people or people that are into Google Docs and stuff. You can create and edit on all of these three. They all have templates, although I think Pages has the most, especially if you buy a template app. Styles, which means bold, internet, all that kind of stuff. This Pages has a little bit of an advantage over the other two. You can save your documents on your iPad with all three of them. In Google Docs, you can save it on Google Drive, if you're familiar with that. That's like a cloud for Google where other people can see your stuff. OneDrive is the cloud for Microsoft Word, and iCloud is the cloud for Pages. But we also have iCloud Drive, which I find very useful. For example, I took these slides that I made them on my computer in Keynote. I converted them to a PDF. I put the PDF in iCloud Drive. I could open it on my iPad in iCloud Drive and save a copy into iBooks. And that's how I got it there. I didn't have to do anything at all, transferring it by email or anything like that. So iCloud Drive is a big plus for the Pages one. They can all add images. Microsoft Word can do charts and tables, but I couldn't find that on Google Docs, but I have to be honest with you, I didn't spend 100 hours looking for it either. But Google Docs is a little more spare than the other two. The tracking, where you put notes on the side and then you go back and forth with your friends and so forth, I couldn't find that in Google Docs, but I could find comments. Footnotes, I could not find in Google Docs either, but I could find it in Word. They all have auto-save. They do not have AirDrop or Handoff, which is an Apple item. AirDrop is when we're close by to each other and we both have iCloud accounts. I could send you a Pages document that way. Or if I'm working on it on my computer, I want to put it on my iOS device and vice versa, you can do that in Pages. Pages exports to 4 different formats. Pages, of course, a Microsoft Word, PDF, or EPUB. So all of those 4 options are available if you want to export a file to another app. In Word, you can export it to Word, and there's one other one that I don't recognize. I don't know what it is. It's some kind of cloud thing. Most of them, I don't know if you can, some you can share with things like Dropbox or Box. Google Docs, I could only see exporting to Word. I couldn't see exporting to anything else there. OpenIn is where you have a document in Pages and you want to open it up in another app on your iPad. I found that very handy, and there's a lot you can open up, especially if you save it as a PDF. You can open up in tons of different apps on your iPad. Microsoft Word, you can open up in a few documents. Google Docs does not have that, and they all can print. So that gives you sort of a little overview. There's lots more things we could compare, but I didn't want to get too deep. I will say that Microsoft Office on the iPad, which is free, except for one iPad, and that's the large size iPad Pro. If you have the large size iPad Pro, like Marty does, you're going to have to pay the Microsoft rent to get those apps. But all the other iPads, including the small iPad Pro, which is this one, you can get them for free. And I think that Microsoft Word is a pretty good, I like Pages, I use that all the time, but Word is a pretty good word processor for the iPad. Google Docs is a little thinner, but it works for you if you need to share with other people who use Google Docs. Don?
Word is an annuity for them, or is it a one-time purchase?
You don't have to buy it at all. You just have to get your free account. When you go in there, it'll ask you to open an account with Microsoft Office.
Right.
Or with Microsoft, I
Yeah.
don't know. And you can do that for free. And then you can download all the 4 apps that are in Office in the App Store. And they're all free.
Thank you.
So unless you have the large size iPad
Right.
Pro, because they consider that more like a computer.
Yeah.
You know, and if you want to do this on your computer, you know, you got to either pay a rent or pay an exorbitant fee
Right.
to buy the apps. So it's a good deal. And I don't find that they're bad. In fact, Microsoft Word has one feature that Pages doesn't have, and that's you can write and draw on it. Pages, you can't do that, at least not yet.
So Marty with this giant iPad.
He's going to have to
That's the
pay.
thing.
I never realized I had to pay, because I have Office 365,
Okay.
which lets me do it
Well,
anywhere.
you can do it anywhere then. Yeah, but if you already have that, then you're fine.
I never
Yeah.
realized that.
But if you buy the large iPad Pro and you want to use Office on it, you're going to have to pay if you don't have it on, if you don't have that account.
But Office 365 now is only $100 a year.
Yeah. If it's, you know, if it's worth it to you. I still have an old Office, which is fine for me right now, but eventually it won't work on the next
Right.
iOS or the next operating system for the computer.
Yeah.
These are 2 writing apps that I think have a lot of practical use. And you know, I've talked about Evernote before. It's a very popular app. I think you can get a free account up to a certain number of gigabytes. And then otherwise you have to pay, depending upon how much stuff you put in it. And it's very compatible with the iPad, with the computer, like the Mac computer. It's very easy to save stuff into Evernote. I primarily use it to save stuff I want to remember. Like if I get an email from Jeff or George or Jerry or somebody, how to do something, or Marty sends a lot of those too. And I want to save that information, like how to sell your iPad or how to do a certain command. I like to save them in Evernote because you can put them in notebooks and you can put keywords on them, and you just have to copy and paste them. But you can also, I'm going to read a little bit of this because it's kind of small up there, but you can create your notes from scratch, write, collect, and capture ideas, and everything is searchable, including checklists, to-do lists, and so forth. You can take notes in a variety of formats: text, sketches, photos, audios, videos, PDFs, web clippings, which I find very useful, especially on my computer. There's a little elephant you can put up there and just tap it, and you can clip right from the web, and other things. So you can have all different kinds of notes in there. You can scan with your camera from your iPad, and it'll go right into notes, which is very useful. Like if you scan business cards or handwritten notes. One of the things that I did, my brother was looking for some kind of help for his elderly mother-in-law. and I was in the dentist office, and I saw this ad for help for senior citizens with all the information of how to do it. So I just took out my phone, and I just took a picture of it with a scanning app, and I was able to email it to him. So sometimes that comes in really handy. So let's take a look at that. Now, this is also on your computer. It has its own cloud and all that stuff. If you want to start a note, you just hit the text, and then you can start a note. And then if you want to take a picture with the camera, you can go ahead and do that. I can take your knees. You can get something from iCloud Drive. I can open iCloud Drive. I can go to preview. There's my, I can just move it right to there. So there's a lot of things that you can do with it. Let me go back to text.
What's the cost of,
I think there is I bought mine so long ago that I don't know. But if you go to Evernote.com, you can find out. I think there's a free version for up to a certain amount of space on the cloud.
It's $50 a year.
If you have the professional
The
one.
professional one, right?
Yeah.
And
And then
it's
it's,
lesser, 30, I think, for the medium.
yeah. And then you can put tons and tons of stuff in it. And then there's also, you can also use the iPad pen on there, which is what I have here, and you can take notes in Evernote with the iPad pen, or you could use your finger. No, the finger doesn't work. I guess, I don't know if you can use a stylus or not, but you can use the pen. That works really well.
Is that the pen for your iPad or?
You can only use it on the Pro, but if you have the Pro and you have the pen, you can take notes by hand in Evernote, and it will be saved to your Evernote automatically.
did that answer your question?
Can I add something?
Yes.
I have a Jot script stylus that I use, and it works on all the Mac devices, all of the screen-sensitive devices.
Tell me the name of it again.
Jot script. It's smaller. I used to have the iPad one, Mac one, but I lost it all the time. It was big and it would fall places.
Right.
This thing has a clip on it, fits in my pocket.
How much is that one?
It's about $40-some-odd.
Yeah, it's half the price.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not sensitive. It's not for drawing, but it's great for writing.
Okay, so anyway, and then you have notebooks. You can make up as many notebooks as you want. These are some of the ones that I made up over the years. And then there's also the tags down at the bottom. I have like 100 tags for everything. Like if I wanted to see something about Apple TV, these are the 2 notes I have on Apple TV. If I wanted to see something about, let's see, Bento, which is no longer with us. There's my Bento license key I have in there. You can see I haven't cleaned this out, just futility. So, these are things that I have learned that people have sent out to me. So I find this very useful, but the nice part about it is you can also do your own word processing in here. You can also share with other people too, like chat. You can share, like you share Dropbox files and stuff like that. You can share that stuff. Let's see, what's this?
Can you talk to it and have it type?
Yes.
That's
I
my
think
very
that's-
favorite app.
Pardon me?
That's my very favorite app. You can search within text and handwriting. It's got recognition, and I've got almost 10,000 notes in there, and there's no need to even organize them because you can search anything.
Yes, it's very, very searchable.
We're talking about Evernote, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
She said she's got 10,000 notes in her Evernote, and she can always find what she wants, either with tags or other
Just
search.
search.
Yeah.
It's really great for recipes.
Yeah.
For what?
Recipes.
Recipes,
I
yes.
use it for my recipes, among other things.
The other one I wanted to show you is Notability. You can handwrite, you can type, you can sketch, you can make outlines, and you can annotate. It's really a note app. It's not really so much a word processing app, but it has a few highlights. They have auto-palm detection, so your wrist doesn't get stuck in there. You can also use the Apple Pencil. I guess you can use the one that you have. You can sign documents and do a lot of the things. You can email, you can use Dropbox, iTunes, Google Drive, you can print, and so forth. So I just want to show you a couple of things in Notability. Now we need to just go back to the notes here. Let's see.
Marilyn, is there a free version?
Notability, I don't know. I mean, these are apps I've had for so long, I have no idea how much they cost. And I can't find out because when I go there, it says open. It doesn't tell me the price. So anyway, this is a note that I wanted to show you. I wrote, I'm sorry it's a little shaky. I think I was trying to do it upside down or something. But anyway, what you can do here is you can listen to a lecture, and you can also take notes either by writing or by typing in this particular app, which is probably very useful. And if you look at the bottom here, you can see there's your little VIU and your different kinds of things for the text at the bottom, sort of a little bar to make changes to your, you select, and then you can highlight, paste, copy, do all this. It's similar to what you do in Pages, but you could also change the font to another one, and I just changed that one word, but anyway, get the idea. And you can use the Apple Pencil on there as well.
Ruth has a question.
Marilyn, do
Yes.
any of these apps accept voice?
Notability accepts voice, Pages accepts voice, Evernote accepts voice, and I think Microsoft Word does, but I'm not sure. I have to check that one. Let's see if we can find that out. Oops, wrong one. Here's Word. Okay. I don't see it here, but let me the cursor in. It's draw. It has draw, but I don't see voice in here. It might be somewhere, but I don't see it here. But Pages does. Notes does. Notes is very good with voice, and Notability and Evernote also. Yes.
Evernote is free. Notability is $8.
Okay. And then Evernote, that's limited to a certain number of notes, I think.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, you have to look at the details. Let me see if there was anything else I wanted to say about Notability. I think we're not taking that chance. Okay. But anyway.
We're not going to get better.
Okay. Moving right along. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about the iPad Pro. I love this keyboard. It is so easy to type on. I'm a touch typist, so it's much faster for me because I don't peck. What I love to do is crossword puzzles on this. I have a couple of crossword puzzle apps, and I do that all the time. And I used to not enjoy writing emails on here because I had to hunt and peck. I would go to my computer to do that, to answer emails. But now if I'm sitting in my lounge chair, because my iPad is always right next to me, I answer emails all the time because I can just type them in really fast. Yes?
I have it also, but my problem is it does not do the accents that you get on the keyboard that's built into the computer.
Oh, really?
You can't put the dots and whatever when I write German or whatever.
But what you can do is you can type it in, then just disconnect it. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. But you don't have to charge this smart keyboard. It costs a lot of money. Apple makes you pay way too much money for this stuff. I will agree with that. But you just fold it and hook it up, and it works great. And I'll show you how easy it is to disconnect it when you're in the middle of doing something. I just wanted to put on here, if you are interested in a pencil or the stylus that you mentioned, it works with Apple Notes, with Mail, with Microsoft Office, with Evernote, with Notability, with Liquid Text, with Pixelmator, with PDF Expert, with Pigment, which is an adult coloring book. You know what? I gave some real adult coloring books to my daughter when she comes home from work to relax, because she loves to color in her daughter's books. You can buy these beautiful adult coloring books with beautiful pencils. She's so excited. She says, "That's the best gift you ever gave me." And there's tons of drawing and sketching apps if you're an artist type of person. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention to you is this cover, if you are interested in the smart keyboard, the cover only covers the front of the iPad. It doesn't cover the back. So I went on the internet looking for a cover to protect the back. And I wrote down at the bottom there the one that the one that I'm using that you can put on the back. I'm sure there are plenty out there. Yes, ma'am.
I went in to buy that cover because my MacBook was down for 2 weeks, and I was tired. I write in the morning, and using the pencil and the swipe keyboard. So after 2 weeks of doing that, I went in to say that this is crazy, let me go in the Apple store. And that day, this keyboard had come in. It's by Zag, and Logitech. And it also covers the back, but it's backlit and everything, and it's cheaper than that one.
Do you remember how much it was?
$129, I think it was.
I think it was $20 cheaper,
Yeah.
and it's also...
Do you have it too?
It's also, it lights up.
Oh, that's great.
It's backlit.
Right.
Yeah, I went in to buy that one, and they had just gotten these in that day, so.
I have one from Logitech for my iPad Pro.
It's the same one.
Same one.
The only thing is, I find it to be a little heavy
It is a
and a
little
little
heavy,
bulky,
yeah.
but I love using it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for me, this works great because, as I say, if you're a touch typist, that's why I have the separate Bluetooth one, because when I was traveling and I wanted to write several, what I did on my day's journeys and stuff like that, I didn't want to be doing that. I wanted to be able to. Now you can, if you lay it flat, you can kind of touch type it, but it doesn't work that great. Okay, for those of you, you probably already know this stuff, but there's a lot of fun things you can do with notes. And I found a couple new things. So let's go to notes and see what we can. And I'm going to go back to here, and I'm going to go to notes and family sharing. Okay. I shouldn't have left that up there because that's a secret, but anyway. Okay, so let me go to some of the things on notes. If you want to create a folder, you can go up to the arrow on the top You can add folders to the notes on iOS 9. And down at the bottom is where you find the new folder, if you want to put your notes into different folders. So that's where you would create your,
Where do you do that?
right down at the bottom here, where all your different note folders are listed. These are all folders. Now, notes on your iPad will not be on iCloud. When you're making a note, think about where you're making it. If you're on iCloud or on your folder or in Gmail. It used to be on my Mac, but I guess that's when I'm on my Mac, it shows the ones that are on my Mac.
Marilyn, I don't understand what you're saying now about it not being on the cloud. Like if I put it on my iPad and I want it on my iPhone, I can't transfer it to it on the cloud.
Let's see. I think those are all the notes. Let's see. I was messing around with these notes, trying to get rid of ones that I've had on there for 20 years or whatever. Let's see, I only have 12 there. So those are the notes that are on my iPad. But notes on the cloud, let's see.
Want to go to the top one?
These are, if you're on the cloud, you can get them on all your devices.
That's what I'm trying to figure out, like what you said.
I think you have to go into settings, don't you? No? Tell me, Marty.
Well, the first notes you make, if you make a note on your iPad, they go into the top category up there, which in your case it says your email. But
Right. That's the cloud.
right, that's the cloud. Right. And then if you want to do something that's on a local device, you have to set up on my iPad in settings so that you would only have notes on your iPad for some reason. I've never figured out why somebody would want notes only on the device instead of on the cloud. Maybe that they're private or something like that.
But these notes are all prior to the cloud, to being on iCloud. These are old notes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
the reason
bottom
mine are on my iPad is because these are old notes.
Oh, I see.
These are not because I chose to put them on the iPad. It's because that was all you could do at one point.
So there's no way to move them now? Is that what you're saying?
You could copy them, right?
I think if you just touch one and you either drag it or drag it,
Mine are on both those.
or
They're on both of yours? Let's see, this is,
there's a way to move them. Oh, I know, you have to do edit. So do edit.
okay, and
Now
then I'm
pick
going to
one.
select that note.
And
Move
down at the
to.
bottom it says move to,
Oh, okay.
right? And then move to will give you a choice of where you move it.
It shows you which folder you want. New folder,
So
Mac.
then you can move it to the cloud.
to this one up here. Okay, good. So we learned something new. All right. So let's go back to notes here. All right. I wanted to, let's do a new note first. Down at the bottom here, now if I disconnect from my smart keyboard, which I'm going to do right now, the virtual keyboard comes up. So
That's what I need for my.
just disconnect, and so I can use both here. So this shows it a little better. You can see it better by disconnecting. This is copy and paste and redo and undo. This is here you can see that one. This is make a checklist, which we don't want to do. This is styling, different things there. This is the camera over here to the right side. You can either take a photo while you're in notes, or you can get one from your library, photo or video. And then this is drawing. And that also works with the the pencil. I don't know if it works with your finger. Yeah, it does work with your finger too. So let's go back here and let's get rid of this note. And let's go back here. Okay, let's see. If you go down to the, if you do sketch, you can do, as I showed you, if you want to put in bold, italics, and underline, you have to highlight, I don't know why that didn't select. Okay. If you want to underline that or get bold, italics, or underline, you have to select it, and then it will do that, or it will do that, whatever. Let's see what else. And then the new things that I found on here were URL. You can go to, on Safari, you can copy the URL, and you can paste it into notes, perhaps through the share button. I forget exactly how I did it. And then if you just tap on it, it'll take you there to Chili's menu, which is what I copied. The other thing is, if you are in Maps and you want to share this with another app or open in another app, you just pick out the map that you want to do, and then when you tap on it, there it is. So that's pretty handy if you have several maps that you want to save or several URLs that you want to save. I thought that was kind of a handy thing. You could just go to Notes and pick the one that you want. So those were a couple of things I learned from Noteboom. Okay, any questions on that? Comments? Okay, how are we doing? All right.
You put that map in there.
What I did is I went into Maps, okay, and I made this map. All right, so let's see. Directions to these were. Let's see what turns up. Well, anyway, let me go back. Okay, you see the share button up on the top there? Okay, if it says, if you hit the share button after you make a map, it says add to notes. So I just tapped add to notes, and then that little thing came up in notes.
You didn't have to take a photograph or anything.
No, it just, you hit the share button and it will add it to the notes, and then it says map. And then here I could actually say map library. And then I would know where that map was. But I mean, like if you wanted like 4 or 5 different maps and you don't want to be messing around going back to the map app, sometimes that gets too confusing to me anyway. This is a nice handy thing to have. Okay.
It's very interesting because my iPad just came up on your airdrop.
Did it really?
Yeah, but yours hasn't come up on mine. I don't know why.
Where was the share button?
Where was the share button?
In Maps? Up in the upper right-hand corner.
It's a little box with the arrow coming out of the top.
It says share here on mine. I don't know why it doesn't have the, and then you can, it'll share, like I could put this in the URL, I could put the connection to messages, to map, to Evernote. Evernote, you can put everything in Evernote.
Then it says more, so they're giving you,
Right.
more.
And then it said add to notes, which is what I did. It was very easy to do. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, there's one other thing I'm going to show you in notes, which is really important. I thought was very useful. Let me start a new note here. Where is the ruler? I guess I'm going to have to do this. Come on. How did I get it? Oh, it's, I know where it is, okay. All right. Down at the bottom of the sketching piece is a ruler. Now, if you're making a note and you want to put a drawing in it, you go to the sketch part. You can save it as a note by itself, or you can add it to anything you spoke into the note or anything you wrote into the note or typed into the note. So here's the ruler. You take two fingers, you can move it around. Now, if you take your pencil and you start drawing, it'll help you draw a straight line. Isn't that cool?
Is that number a millimeter, do you think?
It's an angle.
But when you start to draw your line. there's
Oh,
no-
does it give you a number? I don't know. I don't pay attention. Let's see. It's giving you a number so you can match with what you have on the other side, right? I thought that was a neat little.
You were drawing that straight, or it was just?
The ruler was drawing it straight. I just put my pencil there and I just moved it along the ruler.
But when you put it, it showed a zero, so you knew you were right straight when you were moving that ruler.
But see, here, if I tried to draw a straight line, that's what would happen. You know, I guess other people could draw a straight line, but especially if it's upright like this, maybe it was
Right.
down. But this, with the ruler, you can draw a straight line.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that good?
That's cool.
Yeah.
And the ruler is that thing next to the black color, or which?
The second one.
This is the ruler.
Second, the big one.
This is the pencil, pen.
Right.
This is the marker. This is the pencil. And then you have
What's the one to the right of the ruler?
eraser.
Just move that ruler a little bit, Marilyn, so you can see that it shows it, no, I mean on an angle. Just touch it on an angle. See, so it's going off, but when it's on zero, it's going to give you a straight line
Right.
across the page.
Or, let's see what happens if it's straight up. You have to use
Oh.
two.
Same thing with the
It's
other.
90 degrees.
Yeah.
I love that.
Me too. Now, if you wanted to put a photograph inside there,
Oh, yes, well, then you go back to, let's see, I'm done with that. That's in my new note. If I want to put a photograph in here, I go down to the camera, and it's at the bottom here.
Yeah.
If you had the virtual keyboard, it would be up higher, okay? But since I'm on the smart keyboard, so then I just go in here. Now, do I want to get a photo out of my photo library, or do I want to take a photo? I can do either one. So if I go to my library, I can get a photo out of my library. I have to show you this photo. Let's see if I can, where it is. Would be the new down at the bottom. I sent this to my daughter. She has a 9-year-old. what kids wear for picture day if they were in charge. That's my granddaughter.
On Facebook, several months ago, there was a father who allowed his son to dress whatever he wanted to dress as, and he dressed as Batman, and he had it in his school photo.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's what's kind of fun. Let me check the time here so I make sure that we cover everything we're going to do. Most of the stuff that I'm going to show you from here on is repeat stuff. So unless you haven't used writing much on your iPad, so forgive me. I don't mean to insult your ignorance, but if there were people here that were new to this, it might be helpful. You probably know this already, but you can search for documents by the name on the search page. So if I go to the search page, and this is in Pages, I want to look at certificate. Okay, there's a certificate I wanted to find. It gave me a couple of choices. And then I hit on certificate. It's taking me to Pages, and it's taking me to the certificate that I wrote. So if you know the name of your document, you can, and you see it went all the way through my documents that I have in Pages. You probably know that when you're typing, if you double tap your space bar, you get a period and a space, because the period is not always on the virtual keyboard. The other thing I wanted to show you, and you know that if you want to scroll to the top of a document, you just tap up by the time. We don't do that now. You can also take photos or insert photos in Pages, Numbers, Keynote, Notes, and Messages. If you didn't know that, you know it now. I wanted to show you something. Let me think, where do I want to show you? All right, let's go to Pages a minute. Let's go to this document. Now, if I have the smart keyboard on and I hold down the Command key, first of all, I'm going to put a cursor in there. I got the cursor in there. I hold down the Command key. Those are the keyboard shortcuts I can do in Pages with this smart keyboard. I forgot to show that to you before. If I go to Safari and I hold down the Command key, those are the commands that I can do in Safari.
So you're going into the program and you're holding the Command key.
Well, this is for you to find out what keyboard shortcuts work with each app. What I'm trying to say is, depending on the app, you will have different command key. You'll have different shortcut keys. So if I'm on Safari, I can do reload the page, find, open, new tab, close tab, so forth, okay? If I'm in Pages, and I have a cursor in there, cursor has to be in there, I press down the Command key, it's telling me these are the shortcuts you can use.
Can you go to one of them now?
No.
Okay.
That just gives you the list, because different apps have different keyboard shortcuts.
But you got to remember them.
Yeah, or you take a screenshot or something. But I mean, if you're used to using some of these on your computer, your laptop or your iMac or something, you're used to using Command B, you can still do it for certain ones. Not all the commands, but certain ones. So I meant to show you that before.
Do you use a lot of shortcuts when you work?
I do on my computer. I don't do that much on here because this is a new thing for me. But I do Command C, Command V,
So
copy
they're
and paste, I use all the time.
So they're not the same on the computer and the iPad within the same application?
Yeah, mostly are the same.
Okay.
I mean, you know about Command B, Command I,
Yeah,
Command U, right?
right.
Command F, R, and N, those are all new. Those are all standard.
Yeah.
Okay.
It might be a little different, but I don't think it's different. I think they're pretty much the same. Unless it's something that's unique to the iPad. Then there might be a command that you wouldn't use on your iMac. Okay. Let's go back to here. Okay, this is another thing I wanted to do in Pages. If you weren't at my class, this is a thing you can do in Pages. If you want to, if you have several pages, by the way, you can do a word count. I'm not going to go into that now because there's too much detail, but this is a handy thing to know. You see that little 1? I tapped next to the right-hand margin of Pages. And I'm going to slide down, and there is page 2. So if I want to go to page 2, I just lift my finger, and it goes down to page 2. So if you put your finger to the side, and you go up, now I can go back to page 1. So
Is
that's
that
kind
the
of,
same on the computer? Is the iPad?
no, because I'm touching.
All right.
Now, and also, one thing that I learned is when you make things larger and smaller, if you, I can't see it because my hand is in the way, so I never noticed it before, but if you do this, it will tell you what percentage you are enlarging the screen. Can you see the little percentage there?
And you're doing that with what, 2 fingers?
I'm doing 2-finger pinch. Okay, 2-finger pinch.
That's
And
only in Pages.
if you do it fast, it'll go right to maximum. If you do it slow, then it will give you the little,
Do you find that when you go to your computer many times,
you touch the screen.
No, because it was interesting, my grandson called, my 7-year-old grandson, or not 13-year-old grandson called me the other day, and he said, Grandpa, I want to buy a computer, and I want to ask you your opinion. And he says, I don't want to buy an Apple. And the reason was, is he wanted something with a touch screen. And I would assume that because of the phone and the iPad, everybody's going to want a touch screen.
You're going to see that eventually without like.
Yeah, I'm surprised I have. Everybody else has.
Do you all know how to select text? I guess you do, but let me give you, to select text, and this does not work with every app. It works with Pages, it works with some, it does not work, it works with, part of it works with Notes and part of it doesn't. Okay, so if I double tap, it'll select one word, and then I can take my little handles and make it bigger. If I triple tap, it'll select the whole paragraph. That was a double tap.
Oh, that's new.
Now in Notes, triple tap doesn't work, double tap works. Don't ask me why, but that's, also this works like in Microsoft Word and some of the other things. So I do, and it's the same thing on the computer. I have a trackpad. If I double tap on my trackpad, it'll select where the cursor is, one word. If I triple tap, it'll select the paragraph. So it works the same on the computer. And if you want to put your cursor somewhere, you hold your finger down and then you can move it to move your cursor. Now there's another way to move your cursor in virtual, and that's put 2 fingers on the keyboard and it'll move the cursor around. Well, first I did that wrong. Just put your 2 fingers here. And
On the keyboard?
on the virtual keyboard, put 2 fingers quick. Put 2 fingers and start moving, and there's your cursor moving all around. It blanks out the keyboard. You see how it blanks out the keyboard?
Right.
Okay. Now, if you put your two-finger tap and you hold it, it will find that where I'm going to put the cursor right here, just so you get the.
Where is it?
I'm trying to do it. Okay, I want to start there. So I'm going to put my two fingers on the keyboard, but instead of moving it right away, I'm going to hold it down, and then I can select by just moving it. It's in your notes. It's under selecting iOS 9. Unfortunately, I put these slides, I moved slide 14. It should have been slide 13. So it didn't come right after selecting text, but this is all in your notes about how to do
test on the notes.
Okay. So there is this, how to select text in iOS 9. That's what I just did with the virtual keyboard. All right, let me go back to my thing here. This is a little bit about how to format and pages. You can add, let's go back to pages. If you go to the little brush at the top, right here, that gives you all these options: style, list, layout. If you go to the plus sign, it gives you tables, charts, text boxes, different shapes, colors, whatever. If you go to this, you can do pictures, photos, videos, and so forth to insert. So I just put that in there for those of you who may not have been using Pages before. There's a lot more to Pages than that, but it's just for your information. Most people know what text boxes are, but a lot of people don't know the difference between a text box and typing directly. And so if you want to type directly, you put your cursor there, you tap where you want your cursor, and you type. But if you want to put a text box in there that you can move around, you go up to here and you select plus, and you go to shapes and you select text. And then here's a little text box that shows up. Now this text box can go into templates, it can go into lots of things. But some people confuse typing text directly and typing in a text box. So I'm going to tap twice in that text box, and now I can type in the text box. Okay? If I want to move the text box, I type outside of it and type again, tap again, and now I can move this text box around to where I want it to be.
It's just check. You just take that text box and click right outside so you're getting the lines, and then move it.
Well, you can make it bigger or smaller.
No.
I don't understand your question.
Well, if you type, just click outside the box.
Okay.
Okay, now go back to the box.
Okay, I have to tap. Oh, I have to tap to get the box up.
Okay,
But I mean, it's just a simple, basic thing. But sometimes people get confused. If you go to a template in Pages, that's like a flyer or something where you go in and you substitute pictures or text. Those are all text boxes. And then you have to double tap inside the box to type the text in. If you want to move the box, you have to type outside and get that little blue line to move the box around. So I just thought I'd add that for fun. Okay, one more thing. I know time is up. this I'm going to let you read for yourself, but this is how you can share through iCloud, iCloud Drive, email, all that stuff. There's one more thing I wanted to show you. I have a couple of apps that I really love. Well, one that I really love, one that I like. And this app is called My Radar Pro. I exercise in my pool, and I need to know when it's going to rain. And this one costs money, people, a couple different versions. But
You
there
just
is
look up.
iCloud Pro. Where I live, you never know. There it is. And you can put clouds, and you can, this is the wind, those little dots, and this is the, and you can make it bigger, and you can make it smaller, and you can put a little thing on there, and that goes on the top if you have your iPad the other way. And anyway, I love this app. I have it on my phone, and I have it on my,
And it tells you exactly,
and it tells me where I am, because normally it shows up where my house is. If you see, it's showing me right now, it's not raining here.
So if you're going to grill out, that's a good one to check.
But I mean, I use this because every afternoon I go in here and I say, can I get in the pool today or not? Anyway, I love that app.
What's the name?
My iPad Pro.
My radar.
My radar.
I mean, my Radar Pro. It's M-Y, capital M-Y, capital R for radar, one word, My Radar. And then Pro is a separate word.
free.
No.
There are two versions, actually. One's free and one's not.
Yeah, one's free and one's not. So this is the one that's not. I don't know what's on the free one. And the other one I wanted to show you, which is kind of fun if you like to play with your iPad.
Do you still buy all the apps? You get-
I buy them free from Apps Gone Free.
Yeah, right.
This
You
is-
get some free.
This is called WikiLinks. Okay, WikiLinks is like Wikipedia kind of thing. So anyway, you see where it says Key West down there? I picked up that picture, Key West. So now I'm going to tap on that little picture in the middle on the left side. And it's giving me little connections. So I want to know more about the, I don't know, about the seminar going on there, or the Florida Reef. Let me check that out. So that gives me another connection. And then maybe I want to know more about Careysport Reef. Oh, because we used to take our boat out there all the time. So we go to Careysport Reef. That's off of Marilyn.
Where are you clicking?
I'm clicking on the pictures. Let me go back.
And what app is this?
This is called WikiLinks.
Oh,
And you can put any subject in there. And it gives you all kinds of stuff. So,
Isn't that the one that comes out with some of the dirt on
no, that's WikiLeaks. This is WikiLinks. W-I-K-I.
Same thing.
Links. One word.
Unfortunately close.
Yeah, unfortunately.
No,
Yes.
Thank you all for your attention.
Thank you.